Thanks for coming out to Sullivan High School for our March school board meeting, if you will. Please stand with me. We're going to be pledging and invite the moment of silence to stop the rest.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, welcome everyone. First item on the agenda is approval of the agenda, which also includes the consent agenda. So moved. Mr. McKinley. Second by Mr. Hughes. All in favor? Aye. That brings us to our public comment on agenda items. And I don't have anybody want to speak on anything on the agenda. Anybody here to speak on agenda items tonight? Seeing none, that'll bring us to our director's comments with Mr. Carter. I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Carter.
Good evening. That voice. So we have two microphones for the board information tonight. If you do want to make a comment, please just let Chairman Price and myself know. We'll pass the microphones on down. We'd like to thank Mr. Hare and staff for the wonderful tour this evening and for hosting our school board meeting here. It's always such a pleasure to be at East High School. Just very fortunate to have the leadership that we do here that set this up this evening. It was a really good start to our work session or board meeting tonight. So thank you, Mr. Hare and staff. Next, I'd like to also mention that our spring break is scheduled for March the 17th through the 21st. Hope everyone has a safe spring break. That's coming up very rapidly. And then just one other announcement. Been a lot of conversations about our position on stockpile days. And as of March the 3rd, today, we were 1 day to the negative. So we had made an appeal for a waiver for a state of emergency for March the, that was February the 10th, 13th, and the 21st. Those were 3 days that there was a state of emergency for temperature. That waiver was approved, so we gained back those days. So where we were 1 to the negative, we now have 2 days in our stockpile surplus. So currently there will be no changes to the schedule necessary for the end of the school year. Nothing else will be impacted, and barring any unforeseen weather conditions, we should be good for the rest of the. Any questions on that or comments? Very, very thankful to the Department of Education and Commissioner Reynolds for approval of that waiver request. Next, we do have special recognitions. I'd like to see if Coach Ratliff would come with Jimmy Johnston. We'll come up to the front, Coach, and bring Jimmy. Very, very proud of Jimmy. Being a former wrestler myself, I know what we're getting ready to recognize him for is a major accomplishment. Jimmy, I think, Coach, you want to kind of describe Jimmy's trek to, let me give you this microphone, let you just kind of describe what he's accomplished in just a very short period of time.
Jimmy went to the state and we thought he might get in there and surprise us. He wasn't ranked at all. He had to beat the number 4 wrestler in the state. He beat him first match. He had to beat the number 3 wrestler in the state. He beat him. He got all the city finals. He lost that one. Then he had to wrestle for 4th place. He got 4th place in the state. So it's a very good accomplishment because we didn't expect that going down there. Very proud of him. But he's got 2 more years, so first man.
Yeah.
He said, we'll be back here in the next 2 years to state championship.
Mr. Harry, you want to try and get the board to lean in? Can you get?
I got you.
You got it?
Like the .5, man, over there. Got you. Thank you.
That was in the large school district, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't know if you call what Bill Travis said, but Jimmy is a sophomore. For a sophomore to finish 4th in the state is a major accomplishment. And then on top of that is, Jimmy, when did you start wrestling? Last year. Last year. I mean, in most individual sports, especially students who've got, student athletes got 5, 6, 7 years, they start wrestling when they're 4 and 5 years old. So for him to be wrestling against people with that many years of experience and be in his 2nd year is definitely an accomplishment. So congratulations and keep it going. Hard work. You can do it. All right, next on our list, from Westridge, Sergeant Aubrey, would you
Yes, sir.
be interested in making the presentation?
I probably don't need this, but we get Logan Turner, Gwendolyn Danger come up here, Vivian Edwards, Rachel Miller, Selena Chavez, and if William Hawkins would stand down on the end. I'm going to turn the mic over right now to Mr. McKinley, who has kind of invited us here today, and he's got a wonderful accomplishment. If you have not been to the Veterans Memorial Park behind the courthouse in Bluntville, I encourage everyone to check that out. Wonderful job they did.
Well, I appreciate it. So, as he said, we just built a Veterans Memorial and opened it on Veterans Day this past year. And Sullivan East, you guys, ROTC program was the first to participate. They raised the first flag. And of course, it was a small flag, so we had to replace that. On December 14th, when Bluntville had their Christmas parade, these guys showed up last minute notice to raise the second flag, which is currently flying up there. And so I'd like to read this real quick verbatim, and we'll present it. And it says to Battle Bluntville Civil War Military Park Association Certificate of Appreciation presented to Westridge AFJ ROTC. The members of the Board of Directors wishes to express their sincere appreciation for your outstanding support, and especially for your flawless raising of the second American flag above the new Sullivan County Veterans Park on December 14, 2024. Your unique abilities, coupled with your superb attitude and professionalism, enable Sullivan County to properly recognize the service and sacrifice of all veterans. Signed by myself, Board President, 14 December. So thank you, guys.
I've got it.
Okay.
Okay, I think everyone can hear me. First, I want to thank the board for inviting us here tonight. And I just wanted to publicly recognize this young man here. About 7 years ago, Air Force Junior ROTC came up with a new summer program called Flight Academy. It's around a $25,000 scholarship to go and out of about 200,000 possible cadets, between 250 and 350 cadets are selected worldwide to attend this Flight Academy. And they're in various colleges around the country that offer a flight program. William is our 6th person out of 7 years to be able to do that. The only year we missed was the COVID year. And so we've got a very good track record. We're proud of him. Have you gotten your school yet?
No, today's the deadline day, so Bishop's saying school's out about 2 weeks or so.
And in a couple of weeks, he'll find out what school he's going to. But he's going to spend 8 weeks this summer, all expenses paid, including transportation, food, lodging, and he'll graduate with his private pilot's license and college credit that he can carry on with him to his goal of being an airline pilot. I just wanted to just say congratulations. And that is not an easy task to do. at all. So give him a great big round of applause.
Congratulations. All right. Down on our agenda next, under unfinished business, we have the Henry R. property update. I think our last request was to do an analysis of what it would cost for a demolition. I have some numbers to share with you. Actually, I had a document, and I left that laying. Christian, it's my fault. Thanks. Bill, would you, if there's any questions, would you mind speaking to what we got? I'm going to share that with the board. See here. All right. So, Bill had a company who Taft, John Taft is the owner of this company, and they came to two properties. They went to oh, there we go. Bill already printed that easier on me. Thank you. Sullivan Central to look at build two structures that are back there behind the school at Sullivan Central Middle School, and then also go over to Henry Har Road and look at the demolition of the house, garage, and outbuildings there. So for Henry Har to completely provide an asbestos survey and then demolish and remove the house, garage, and outbuildings, that would cost us $21,650. In addition, if we were interested, there are two structures behind Sullivan Central Middle to provide an asbestos survey on those two structures and then demolish and remove those would be $11,440. Those could be done separately, or if we were interested, we could group those together and have both of those demolitions accomplished. Any questions from the board at this point, or that can serve as just an update? We can come back another day, or because we would need to make a decision about doing nothing, accepting the demolition, or if the board was interested in entertaining offers on the property. I think last time we were moving a little bit away from taking offers, but that'd be open for any discussion.
So we could break it down if we wanted to and go ahead and do this, the two buildings at Central, right? Without having to approve the Henry Har, if we didn't want to do it. We could do the Central without the Henry Har, right? Yeah.
So, just for the audience, the question was, do we move forward with doing the Sullivan Central portion of this quote and not the Henry Har? Bill, that answer would be yes. Yes. And it wouldn't affect the pricing because we were only doing one of the two. You would be good with either quote. Yes.
I personally would be willing to, I'd be willing to consider the Henry Har property as well. If the rest of them, if there was any interest in that, I personally would keep that property. I don't think the money we get out of it would be worth selling. So for my part, I'd be interested in doing the Henry Har property as well. Anyone else have any comments?
So I see on the Henry Har, you mentioned the garage. So that's including showing the garage as well.
All buildings, all
All the buildings and all the structures. Okay, so you don't think you'll have a use for that garage at all ever?
No.
I think that, when we last discussed, that we all felt like we needed to hang on to the property. So if we're gonna hang on to the property, then I agree. I think that we need to look at demolishing what's there so that we don't have a safety hazard that we have to worry about.
Was a motion in order? And Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we take both offers and demolish both properties.
I second that.
Motion by Mr. Hughes, and second by Dr. Rouse. Any further discussion on this?
Only thing I got is,
One thing I got is on the Henry Hart, we decided on if we was gonna sell, we was gonna have to add land to it, correct?
Correct,
Correct.
because it didn't hurt.
It would not hurt the way it is.
because the creek behind it, it makes it really long.
Anything else? Christina, I guess we're voting.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. McKinley.
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Dr. Rouse.
Yes.
Ms. Samlin. Yes. Mr. Vickers.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to new business. First item you'll see there, letter A is E-rate. There's a new bid out. This is just for information purposes to inform the board that that bid is out. And there are two contracts or two companies that are up for that services for our internet and all of our wiring services. And E&A, the past has been the one that we've been with. There's a new company now who had the lower bid with Davidson County and Anderson County, and that is up for protest with the bidding process, and then we may be changing vendors if that's the case, but that's not anything for us to vote on, it's just information purposes. Questions? Letter B. Mr. Loesch, just so I don't mess up on the numbers or the people or anything, on the insurance benefit retirement program, we have a copy of that in our board agenda. If you could just speak to the number of employees that would impact, but basically what we're looking at, you got the document, the policy request for the change would be the effective date currently reads effective July 1st, 2012, would be changed to April 1st, 2025. All employees hired before July 1st, 2015 are considered eligible for the retirement insurance benefit when there are three different clauses to that. A, he or she reaches the age of 55, has completed 25 years of service with TCRS, with at least 15 of those years in Sullivan County Department of Education. Or B, this one has to change, he or she reaches the age of 60 and has completed at least, currently reads 15, it would reduce that to 12 years of service in Sullivan County Department of Education. Or C, he or she has completed 30 years of service with TCRs with at least 15 years in Sullivan County Department of Education. Basically what this is an opportunity to hopefully recruit or to incentivize us as we're going into the budget season with some employees who may want to take advantage of this that might not otherwise. So the number, this is a low number that would impact, but Mr. Loesch, do you want to share any details about the number of people and how long this would be an impact?
So currently we have 11 employees that can take advantage of this situation. Of those employees, there are 5 teachers who can take advantage of it, but 2 will already be Medicare eligible at that point. So the true savings would not be there for those 2 because they would just have a Medicare supplement regardless. But there are 3 other teachers that can qualify for that. There's some support staff that can qualify for that. Obviously with support staff, we are down to the bottom. There's no opportunity to cut through attrition, so that would just be a benefit that they could take advantage of, and there's really no savings there for us.
All right, so this is just for people in the old TCRS plan, correct? Not hybrid, that why we chose the date.
have nothing to do with the date. The date is just to get them their insurance benefits quicker.
I'm talking about the July 1st, 2015.
Hi, Andy, this is Amy Shane with First Savings Bank.
Is that for 2 years, this will be obsolete?
So the July 1st, 2015 date is what the state of Tennessee put into act prior to July 1st, 2015. If you are hired after or come on the state plan after July 1st, 2015, you will not qualify for retiree insurance benefits. So that's why that's added into that, is because of that. It has nothing to do with the hybrid or the legacy plan with PCRS.
Just thought it shared the same date.
I'm sure that probably had something to do with it, but that is the reason why we put that July 1st, 2015 date.
That would be a recommendation this evening is to approve that on first reading or waiver.
Recommendation is, waive the rules, approve this on the first reading. Motion was made by Mr. Hughes. I guess second. Second by Mr. Robinson. I guess this is just for the waiver of the rules. Ready to vote on that?
Mr. McKinley?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Dr. Rouse?
Yes.
Ms. Salem?
Yes.
Mr. Vickers?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes. All right, now, need a motion to adopt the policy.
I've got questions, do I ask them now after it's on the table?
After it's on the table.
Gotcha.
Motion by Mr. Hughes. Second by Mr. Robinson. Now we can have discussion.
Do we currently have the budget set for this year?
For the 24-25 year?
Correct.
Yes, we do.
Or 25, 26?
We do not have it set yet.
Do we have a cost projection for what this is going to cost us over the next several years? Because you can't just look at the 11 people that it's going to affect now. We've got to look at going forward, how many?
It goes away in 2 years, correct, Mr. Williams?
That's correct, because they won't be eligible for retiree benefits after 2027.
Okay. I guess I've just got concerns. I've just got concerns about this change.
So, I know the ultimate goal is what's the ultimate goal of this exactly?
Through attrition, rather than having to lose positions, this would give us some opportunities. Plus, it may incentivize someone to make that decision, to say, hey, I don't work there, and have that opportunity. They might be later in the career, CT position.
So we're basically just gonna hire a mercenary for a year or two, is that? Because if this goes away in 2 years, then I just don't see how it helps recruiting.
And more on the side of the retirees, open up recruitment.
Yeah. That was my question, so just basically to help with retirees that want to retire but can't quite retire yet because they're not covered under Medicare or Medicaid yet.
Correct.
Okay.
I'd like to point out that for decades, the teachers gave up raises and benefit, money to keep good benefits. And I think I would want to do everything I could to help retirees, or anybody that was going to retire.
But this will affect more support staff and the professional people, and we pay their benefits 100%. I guess my thoughts would be, and I totally agree with what you said, Mike, they have sacrificed it and salaries. But I guess I'd rather put this money toward, how can we give them another raise? And I know that we're looking at it as a recruit tool. But right now, we are marketable in our region to hire teachers. But we also know that the cities will pass us again shortly. So we've got to have a plan to keep up with the cities so that we're competitive.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Dr. Rouse?
No,
Ms. Stanley? No. Mr. Vickers? Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. McKinley?
Yes.
For letter C, I think want to come back to this one at a later date and not have this on the agenda due to that passing. That may be all we needed this time. So I want to move that from the agenda. Letter D, the resolution to affirm participation in Section 4 of the Education Freedom Act of 2025 relative to bonuses for teachers. There's been a lot of conversation about this in the news lately. This is directly related to the passing of the Education Freedom Act of 2025. One of the provisions of that legislation is that teachers would be eligible for a bonus of $2,000 to be paid after July 1st of 2025. So it would go into actually next year, but it would only be for people who were registered or shown in EIS, which is our power school, that they were a teacher in 2024-2025 school year. I think there's been conversation about if we accept this offer, are we agreeing to the voucher program when the absolute response to that is no, we are not. Conferred with our board attorney about the language in the document that you have in front of you and draw special attention. I'll read each of these points in the whereas, but especially the second one and the third one are the points that Mr. McCarty felt definitely do not change any of our stances from our previous resolution that we submitted in opposition to the voucher program. So, whereas the Sullivan County Board of Education is charged with governing the school system so that all students receive the best educational opportunities in order to graduate and prepare to enter a secondary institution or the workforce, and whereas the Education Freedom Act of 2025 includes a provision providing one-time bonuses of no less than $2,000 to public school teachers in the state, and whereas Section 4 of the Education Freedom Act of 2025 requires that a local board of education or an LEA seeking to participate in Section 4 of the proposed act must affirm its intention to participate via a resolution in order to receive state funds to issue these bonuses. Therefore, be it resolved that the Sullivan County Board of Education affirms its intention to participate in Section 4 of the Education Freedom Act of 2025 relative to bonuses for teachers. So, in Mr. McCarty's opinion, this does not connect us to agreeing with the voucher aspect of that legislation, but only that we agree that the teachers would be eligible for that bonus when those funds are allocated and made available to us after July 1st of 2025.
Heard the recommendation by Mr. Carter to adopt this resolution. Motion. Motion by Mr. McKinney.
Second.
Second by Dr. Rouse. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to ask if we could make it explicit in the minutes, outside the resolution, it's not an agreement with.
Mr. Carter, do you know if there is anything that is tied to those bonuses? I know that in the past, there has been bonuses given by the state, because you know there's always ties to any government money that you get. For teachers, are they required to work any extra, participate in anything on Saturdays or anything like that?
Currently, that is not included, but that's not to say that something couldn't finally be added, that they might do that. I think this resolution would allow us to still, even if something else was added, we could still revert our decision. This is just saying at this point, we're in agreement with Section 4, which says that the teachers would get that bonus. So I agree with you. There's still a possibility that something could be added, and I think there's some reason to be hesitant about that. But I don't think this particular resolution would commit us to say we're going to do it if there's something we don't agree with.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Dr. Rouse?
Yes.
Ms. Stanley? Yes. Mr. Vickers?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. McKinley?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Letter D, we have several budget amendments. Letter A is a general purpose budget amendment. B is a CTE Perkins basic provision. C is an ARP homeless 2.0 revision. D, E, F, G, H are all from the consolidated grant from various IDA, IDA preschool, Title I Part A neglected, Title I Part A, Title II Part A. I'd like to make a recommendation that we group those together. Approve.
Motion by Ms. Stanley.
I'll make a motion to combine A through H.
All right. Motion by Mr. Hughes. Ms. Stanley, seconded. Any discussion on these? Ready to vote?
Dr. Rouse?
Yes.
Ms. Stanley? Yes. Mr. Vickers?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. McKinley?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Okay, before I hand over things back to Chairman Price, there's just a couple of items that we did not get to cover in our work session, and just briefly want to discuss those. The second item after the roofing evaluation that we had the presentation was the safety entrance at Bluff City, and just a brief discussion about that. My request would be that we hold our next board meeting at Bluff City Elementary so we can actually, as we're doing the tour there, we can show you the situation that's currently there. Mr. Harris here tonight, and I think we got a situation there that needs to be addressed, and we have a potential solution to that. It'll be much easier to show it to you in person. So I think if it's okay, we'll plan on having our meeting there, and we'll make that part of the tour, and we'll discuss it in a little more detail on what the recommendation would be for the entrance way to Bloodstone Elementary. We had a presentation by the Sheriff's Department on the flock cameras. Just to provide an update, I have met with the representative from the company that presents and installs and sells the flock cameras, and he would be willing to do an additional presentation, which goes along with the last item there that I have written out for a board retreat. I would like to request that the board gives me permission to seek some dates to have a potential board retreat this spring, and the flock cameras would be a topic that we would make the safety meeting prior to or during that board retreat, and we would convert over to the regular agenda after that. So we would have some time for safety items to be included on that agenda as well. If there's no opposition to that, I'll start coming up with some dates, and we'll share those out and see if we can get that scheduled. But we are working on an update there. One additional item from our meeting tonight, we were talking about the roof here at Sullivan East. Have received communication from Garland that if our consultant who's been working through Chris McCarty's office, if he approves the information that they just submitted to him, that they could be on the roof and that by the end of March, the 1st of April, and be able to start on that work on this roof. And so that's where we're at on the East High roof. And that's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. That brings us to our public comment section on non-agenda items, and I do have people wishing to speak. Mr. Paget, up first.
I'm here to talk to you today about trying to ask for approval for a middle school swim program and a coaching stipend and the needs that are necessary to make that happen. I sent you an email just as this meeting started. They'll have some of the details that I've got in my little talk here. I'm going to try to go through pretty fast. I would also ask that you go back and visit the October meeting of 2022. Around the 9-minute mark, some of our swimmers started talking, and I spoke at the 19-minute mark, and I referenced some of the similar material of what's in this. But I'm not going to really talk about like what swimming is meant for nothing, what's in this, because I'm just going to shoot some numbers out. I've got a couple other people that are going to do a better job of talking otherwise than I am. Some things I want to bring to your attention is that Bristol High School, so I'm going to go through some numbers. Bristol High School currently has 36 swimmers. Science Hill, this is the high school swim programs. Science Hill has 32, Dobbins Bennett has 25, Cherokee has 19, Elizabethton has 16, Volunteer has 11, Westridge has 11, Providence Academy has 10, Sullivan East has 9, Morristown East has 7, Morristown West has 6, University School had 2, and then there were 7 unattached or homeschool-based swimmers. And those are numbers, I don't know if that's exactly how many on the swim team, that's the number that participated in regional this year for each school. As for current middle school programs, Sullivan County doesn't have one as of right now. That's what we're here for. Hawkins County currently combines all of their middle schools, and they usually have between 40 and 50 swimmers. The system does not have a pool, so they do have to fundraise to rent aquatic center lanes, and parents pretty much do have to do the transportation for that. They usually practice after their high school. Kingsport combines both John Sevier and Ross Robinson. They do provide bus transport if parents can't do it, although it's ultimately parents' responsibility to get them to practice. And Coach Love said that they had about 50 middle school swimmers. Science Hill, Johnson City combines Indian Trail Middle School and Liberty Bell. They had 39 members on their middle school team. Science Hill does use Freedom Hall School, and that's run by the Parks and Recs division. The middle school and high school teams practice separately, but share practices with Barracuda Swim Club. And so usually it's the high schoolers and a senior group that do right immediately after school, and then the middle school divers and the blue and green groups for the club that go right after that, and then the middle school swimmers and silver group and pre-seniors for the club that go at like 6 o'clock or so. So they have a system of progressions there. And I would imagine that if we do this, it's probably going to have to look something like that, I guess. Of course, the current swim team for Science Hill had 29 swimmers. I think of those, 19, they had 29 swimmers and 2 divers, but of those, 19 qualified for the state meet. So that was pretty good on their part. Elizabethton has a middle school program through T.A. Duggar. They have about 20 to 30 middle school swimmers. Coach does receive a stipend there. The liability falls under the school's umbrella because it's a sanction. They approve the sport. She also promotes her group, like with summer camps and stuff, and uses Instagram and Facebook to push them pretty good. Bristol, Tennessee middle school has a swim team of about 30 swimmers. Although Coach Mills actually told me today that they had to turn some down because they had almost 50 that requested to be on the team, and they just didn't have enough room in the pool, and so they basically had to do like a swim test to help determine who could be there. That's one of the first times I've heard that. But that's, in a way, it's sad because anybody who wants to swim, be able to swim. But on the other side, it shows interest. They practice 3 days a week in a pretty short season between October and December. They usually do 6 to 8 meets a year. They had 1 or 2 that got canceled because of the weather. They usually practice after the high school between 4:45 and 6. And again, it's usually the parents' responsibility to get them there. Although they do have a leap after school program at the middle school that they will sometimes walk from to as a group to get over to the high school and the middle school. Obviously, county system probably can't do something like that. The 2024 East Tennessee Southwest Virginia Middle School Championship was on December 7th. It included the above teams, but also all swim team, Providence Academy swim team. Kingsport was first in both, Johnson City was second. These would likely be schools that Westridge swimmers would be competing with, as Tisca has now, instead of everybody swimming in one group, they are now going to be doing divisions, from my understanding. Coach Skinner can probably tell you more about that if you're interested. So I guess my point in that is that Westridge has 11 swimmers, but we're a much bigger school than, say, Tennessee High School. And it looks to me with these numbers that there's definitely interest in the sport. And our goal is to get kids into it so that they feel confident and they're willing to come to high school and feed our high school program. And what I'm asking you guys is, like I said, to approve this as a sport, a team, improve coaching stipends, commit to helping us keep up our swimming pools so that we can keep this going, and give us a few years to get this thing off the ground. And, asking for support. That's what it comes down to. We're asking for support. I've got a friend that has contacted me that has a 4th grader who is one of your 4th graders who has recently won 4-H, the local competition for public speaking. And she's willing to come and talk to you. And so she's the next one on your public speaking list. Her name is Ellie Hill. And you're going to think she's a superstar. So I'm going to go and let her do this because she's better at it than I am.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick. Ms. Hill?
been something I loved, especially on those hot summer days camping with my family. Most of us know that swimming can be one of our favorite. But did you know that swimming is a sport? Swimming is my favorite event to watch in the Olympics. There are always In fact, swimming is the sport with the most medal winners in the Olympics.
She can really do it without anybody holding.
Today I want to talk to you about swimming, so let's dive in. The Victorians invented swimming as a sport in Greece and Rome. Young males learned to swim as a part of their schooling. In ancient Japan, swimming races were held in the 1st century BCE. Swimming contests first became popular in the 1800s. The first swimming championship was held in Australia in 1846. Swimming was an Olympic event in 1896 for men. Finally, women events were added in 1912. Over time, people discovered the fastest way to swim through the water. There are 4 different strokes in swimming. Freestyle, the swimmer can choose any stroke. The most popular is the front crawl. The backstroke is similar to the front crawl, but you swim on your back. Your arms and legs alternate in these strokes. The breaststroke is the slowest stroke. It's hard to learn. The butterfly stroke is the most exhausting. Your arms and legs move together in breaststroke and butterfly. There is a race called a medley. This race includes all 4 strokes in one race. There are a lot of rules in swimming, but I'm going to tell you just a few. You can't pull on the lane rope, and you can't false start. You must perform the correct stroke, and you must touch the wall correctly before swimming another lap. If you break the rules, you can get disqualified. I've been disqualified before, but don't worry, it's all a part of learning. I have been on the Barracuda swim team for a year and a half. Some of my favorite things about swimming are that to always be in the water, learn new things, be healthy, and be a part of a team. Swimming as a sport is really fun, but it can be hard at times. The water can be really cold, and the races can be really long. My longest race has been 200 meters. This is like swimming over 2 football fields. Swimming teaches me to be strong, work hard, and never give up. You should try swimming and see how you like it. I would love for you to be my teammate. Thank you.
Before I graduate, I'd like to see an initiative for forming a Sullivan County middle school swim team. I'm currently a senior at Westridge High School, and I've been a part of the swim team for all 4 years. But my swim journey began just before I entered middle school, when I joined Barracuda swim clubs. Starting before high school gave me a leg up in the sport, helping me make the state cut for the last 3 years, despite the cut getting faster each year. Most recently, I made the time cut in the Southeastern Region Swim Meet in Huntsville, Alabama, and the Southern Premier Swim Meet in Nashville, Tennessee. Over my years at Westridge, our swim team has faced many challenges, from pool closures and maintenance issues, which resulted in lost practice time, transportation issues to and from Westridge, to coach and swimmer recruitment issues. While we've overcome most of these obstacles, we still have issues recruiting swimmers. Our swim team has attempted to save money and avoid burdening the school system by repairing and reusing timing and lifeguarding equipment from the closed Sullivan Heights Middle School swimming pool. However, to achieve meaningful recruitment, we are going to need the backing of the school board and the athletic department. Many students try a school sport for the first time in middle school. And currently swimming is not offered as an option in the Sullivan County schools. Additionally, many high school students are hesitant to join the team without prior experience. Without this feeder program, it is difficult for us to maintain our team, and it is also difficult for our swimmers to improve enough to make those state cuts. For me, swimming is more than just a competitive sport. It's an outlet to relieve stress. Swimming is about camaraderie and being part of a team, something bigger than myself. It's about persistence, resilience, and dedication. As I look towards my future, I know I'll continue to swim either in college, on a team, or with a club. The good thing about swimming is it's a lifelong sport. I want others to have the same chance I did to be able to excel in this sport. And in order to do so, I hope you'll consider studying a middle school swimming. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricky. Last is Cody Summer.
Hello, thank you guys for having me up here. Cody Skinner, I'm the current high school swim coach at Westridge High School. Just going off what everybody's been saying, I think the biggest thing that we've been missing to help grow the program at the high school, and even here at Sullivan East, is that middle school program. Looking at the bigger programs, they all have middle school feeder programs. It's going to help generate interest on our end. My full-time job is coaching swimming. I coach the Barracuda Swim Club, so a lot of these kids over here that are here today swim for me currently there. A lot of them are going to be going to the Sullivan County School District too as well. So something I do full-time, coaching kids, something I'm confident in doing. I think it's just growing this sport of swimming in this community would be huge. I think if you look at research, the #1 cause of death in a lot of school-age children is drowning, accidental drowning, and this is a sport that I can help grow and teach kids that may not know how to swim. It's a sport for everybody of all skill levels and abilities, and teaches you teamwork, individual success as well. So these kids can come in and set a time and then see themselves improve throughout the year. So it's not a sport that you really need teammates or everybody else. Kind of it's an individual focus, and everybody's success can be differently in the sport, whether it's qualifying for the state championship meet, making it to the finals at our regional level meet. Kids can find success at any level in this sport. So I think it's something that this area could use to help us really kind of grow this sport. I think with swimming, something that I'm willing to lend my time as currently as a high school coach to be leading this charge of being a middle school swim coach as well. I'm willing to help take on and kind of help grow it. Like I've been saying, it's something that can really help us grow to the size of Tennessee High, the Freedom Hall, and some team sport schools. So I think it's the need for our area. And there's a lot of interest too. I know a lot of the kids that are at my site that prepare to swim are going to be going to the Westridge High School, Sullivan East, all these local schools. So it's something that we can kind of help grow, and something I'm willing to kind of take charge to lead the way.
If you had to guesstimate how many middle school kids are interested, what would your estimation be?
I would say we have, on the Barracudas with our swim club alone, we have probably 15 to 20 Sullivan County school kids. Both ends. Like at the Kingsport City schools, you got the county school kids. A lot of the kids will end up going to Central Middle School and then the Western High School too. So. But I'm willing to do kind of what all the other school districts combine, and that'll kind of help feed the program here at Sullivan as well. I know that they would be able to grow there too. So I think it's just a numbers game. I think it's going to help us grow and kind of make us a little bit more competitive. I believe in my ability to do coach and get somewhere better. That I think we can be on the same level as those Science Hill and Fountain Bennett at the time. So
If you had a consolidated program, where would you primarily train or be at?
currently, the high school we use Central Middle School. I think it's the
Same place?
Yeah.
Okay.
same place, and we run it there. And run it after the high school practices. There's times and we can kind of accommodate for that. So
How do you find the pool over there?
how do you find?
Yeah, like you just, the upkeep and everything.
It's good. I mean, it has water, holds water, it has lane lines, it has all the basic necessities you need to run a competitive program. And I think there's other people I know in this area that can kind of help. There's feasible, it's something I can do, I think we have the interest, and when we're over there practicing with the Barracudas, there's parents popping their heads in, seeing what's going on, so, and asking how we can kind of join, so, I think we can get it going, so. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I don't have anybody else sign up to speak. Does anybody else want to speak tonight? Seeing none, guess that moves us on to, my comments. First thing we need to do is set the, April meeting date. Should be April 3rd, Thursday, April 3rd. Is that good with everybody?
At Bluff City?
At Bluff, correct, at Bluff City.
I may be in Middle Tennessee, but just so you know. I have several things in the schedule. I wouldn't be able to. Yeah.
We're going to do the tour at 4:30. We're going to set the meeting time at 7, 8 time, if we get it done. Work session at 4:30. Stanley, you do that? 4:30 to 6:30 at Bluff City. Mr. Harry, thanks for having us down here tonight. We appreciate
Oh, we're talking about Bluff City?
and I understand, Mr. Harry, thanks for having us next time at your school. Miss Emily, I just want to tell you, you're a brave little girl. I don't like speaking in public, and that's pretty good to come up here and talk to us like that. Thank you for coming up. We appreciate that. It's always good to hear from you. Only thing I got is congratulations to our ROTC, the gentleman in the pilot program. That's no small task or undertaking either. That's pretty awesome. Looking forward to what the future holds. Spring break's coming up. Before we know it, we'll be having graduation, and summer will be here. And time's flying. But thank you all again for having us up here. Ms. Stanley, I'm gonna start on your end tonight.
You know, everything that you say.
Mikey covered it all. I wanted to say thank you to Andy Hare and Mr. James and Ms. Munpower and Ms. Holly for having us out here and hosting us and taking us on tours of the school. Really showed us a lot. Everything that y'all accomplished here, it was amazing, some of the classes that you all have. And congratulations to all of our recognitions that you did tonight. That's it.
The same thing they're saying, all these, thanks for having us. I love coming to these tours. I think we mentioned it back during COVID. I mentioned it going around seeing each school instead of just meeting at the central office. I like getting out to see stuff. It's hard the way we work, and everybody's got kids, and we're always moving here and there. But we put the board meeting there, all of us have got to show up. So that's when you got to show us what you need. So that's what I like about it. Thanks for having us. Congrats to all the ones on their awards. Little lady back there, the swimming lady, that was awesome. That's big. Okay? I'm like Mr. Price here. I do not like talking in front of crowds. You could probably, my softball team would play see different than that, but I'm not a big talker. So I guess next month we're going to Bluff City. So looking forward to that.
All right. Thank you all for the tour. It was great. I now know when somebody's bad for Christmas, I know where to come get the coal for their stocking.
Right.
All right. I know exactly where to find it. You've got plenty for it, okay? But yeah, I appreciate y'all showing me everything that y'all find is a troubled area or the stuff that you think that we can improve. I really appreciate it. This is the only way we get to know. It's a little hard otherwise to come in and just visit. So As far as the wrestling, I was a wrestler. I started wrestling just to show how hard it was. I've wrestled since I was like 6 years old, and I never placed at state. He's been wrestling 2 years and placed at state. So, you know, of course, I was always considered scrappy. I was never considered, you know, like something good. You know, they were like, if you put Mark out there, he won't get pinned. So he'll get beat, but he won't get pinned. So congratulations. That's really, really hard. Trust me. I've wrestled before. I know it's hard. ROTC, great job with the ROTC. I appreciate everything you all do. And then little miss over there, public speaking is a challenge for most people, and you have conquered it in 4th grade, right? Is that correct? So yeah, if you've you know accomplished that goal, you're going to do well a lot. So other than that, I just thank you all. I look forward to seeing Bluff City next month.
Hey, just so y'all know, I do look forward to these drawings of me every year, so I was really excited to see this tonight. So I think they get to be right on point. I do like that.
I forgot one this past year.
First of all, thank you guys for having us. It was a nice tour. I saw some things that we can maybe address sooner than later, and some things that have to be addressed at some point. I'd like to mention, I think our speakers, all of them, for coming. I think Avery's been coming since he was rather small, and became a really good speaker. So it takes a lot of guts, and we were listening. And I'll just add this. I don't think kids in Bristol or Kingsport or anywhere else will have anything that our kids don't have. And we're here to compete. I don't know how you have a high school program without having a middle school program. So we'll be carefully considering what you had to say today. And I wanted to say a little bit about the project at Bluff City we're going to look at for the board. And for Mr. McKinley, it's hard to explain. So if you could, if you don't get to come, try to go back and see Mr. Hare and let him show you. So it's hard to tell, but everybody will see it next month. We have a really serious safety issue there that we can address in a really good way. And we have the room to do it and the means to do it. And when you see what we're thinking about, you'll see that it's really safe. Right now, one step and you're in the city street. We can come up with, we've got a plan that we can have one bus or more staged in a safe place that's fenced on both sides and step straight on the bus and cuts out a lot of danger. Further, we have an issue at the entrance. Bluff City does not have a, what do we call that, holding area? We don't have that like all the other schools has. So like somebody would come and cause trouble as soon as they got through the door. They're in this. So that's what we started out trying to address, and we found out a way to address both that. And I've got a video on my phone. You should go there sometime and look at the miracle they pull off every day to get those students on the bus. It's unbelievable. The traffic, I mean, we heard a lot about the traffic at Westridge, but the traffic at Bluff City is parked down 2 streets and down Main Street, and it goes rather smoothly. But there's an inherent danger that we're just waiting, that's just waiting to happen. And I think we should try to avoid it. So if you don't get, for anyone who don't get to attend that tour, try to go see Mr. Hare, because it's really, you can't tell it in a meeting, can you? So anyway, first of all, I want to mention our ROTC program both here and at East High School, all the good things they do for our students. I've had the pleasure to go to several of the balls over the years, and I wanted to mention that Mr. Sharver is retiring. I think that's what I heard, and he does an exceptional job over there. So if you get a chance, and I thought he might stay, you know, thank him for all he's done. He's a real asset to Westridge, and their program, as East, is a really good program. So that's all I have.
Yeah, I received a lot of emails the last few days with regards to support for the swim team. I can tell you, great presentation. We're probably going to look at the numbers, but you got my support, just so you know. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys having us here at East. And sorry I won't be up there, be able to make it next week, but if we can maybe get together before now, perfect. That's about it. Appreciate it, Dr. Rice.
I'll just reiterate what's already been said. Thank you all so much for coming and speaking. My voice would have been trembling at your age, but also a whole lot older, my voice would have been trembling. Actually, I set one of my goals when I started my master's program, I think. And one of my goals was that I could speak without my voice trembling. It was my master's, because I thought I can't talk to teachers if my voice is trembling. So you all are way ahead of the game. Thank you so much, Mr. Hare, for the tour. I guess that what I would like to say is that I wasn't on the board at the time, but when we built Westridge, I think the conversation was that once Westridge was built, that we would then look at what we needed to do at East High School to make it comparable to. So I guess I'm not in support of patch here, patch there, and patch somewhere else. I think there needs to be some money from somewhere. I don't know where the somewhere will be, but I think that there needs to be a plan that we can look at as to how we can renovate East High School, rebuild, renovate, whatever it is we need to do, to also make sure that the kids here have that state-of-the-art building that we have on the other end. I think what's going on here is awesome. It's always been awesome. The teachers are phenomenal. The kids are great. All Sullivan County kids are really good, and our teachers are good overall. So we just need to make sure that they're appreciated and know that they're appreciated and know that we respect them for who they are and what they're doing. So again, I hope that somehow this board, along with the commission, can at some point look at, okay, how can we modernize and do something with the East High School building, because 1968 to 69 to now, it's done a great job. And we have patched and made it work, and it's done a great job even in the patching. But there comes a point in time that we need to upgrade and do some big things. Thank you all for coming.
Just wanted to add, I believe, Bill, we're going to have the lights on outside as everybody's leaving. So just to give the board, since we're here on campus, all the ball fields will be lit up so you can see the investment made in that as well.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.